The U.S.-Nigeria Air Transport Agreement, which has been provisionally applied since 2000, came into force on May 13, 2024. A statement by the U.S. Embassy in Abuja stated that the bilateral agreement establishes a modern civil aviation relationship with Nigeria, consistent with U.S. Open Skies international aviation policy, and with commitments to high standards of aviation safety and security. The agreement includes provision that allows for unrestricted capacity and frequency of services, open route rights, a bilateral charter regime, and open code sharing opportunities. According to industry sources, the agreement is a step further in liberalizing the international civil aviation sector in Africa and further expanding strong economic and commercial partnership. To discuss this, I am joined by aviation expert Wole Shadare. Thank you for joining me on the news, Wole. What are the primary objectives of the U.S.-Nigeria Open Skies Air Agreement?
Thank you very much. The U.S.-Nigeria Open Skies Agreement actually was signed in 2000 when the former president of the United States of Nigeria came to Nigeria. United States came to Nigeria. It was a very historic visit in the sense that before now, what we used to have was Bilateral Air Services Agreement, BASA. This is a higher form of BASA in the aviation industry. What it means is that each country that Nigeria has, the United States has open skies with, can, as much as it wants, deploy so many aircraft to its territory. What it means is that if the United States of America has the right to deploy maybe 2, 3, as many airlines as possible to the Nigerian route. The same thing with Nigeria. I remember when this agreement was signed, people felt that it was a one-sided agreement, that the U.S. aviation industry was more developed than what we have in Nigeria. And they suggested that Nigeria shouldn't have signed the agreement with the United States because the U.S. aviation industry was more developed than Nigeria's. So what the U.S. did is to give us a head start and say, okay, you can start. I think they gave us 10 or 15 years a head start that we can start so that we can, as much as possible, also develop our own aviation industry. But we all know that there's no way Nigerian aviation industry can be compared with that of the United States. So in principle, what it means is that it's going to help both nations to develop the aviation industry, and it's also going to create a lot of job opportunities, because when you have more airlines, more job opportunities are going to be created. More liberalization of air transport can be done. Before now, what it tends to do is to break all barriers of air transport rules or laws between both countries. So what you can do is liberalize air transport industry and make it affordable to a lot of people, both in the United States and Nigeria, or anywhere the United States has open skies agreement with any country. So it's a welcome, thing. And for now, we've had these bilaterals, this agreement working for both countries, because the United States already has 2 airlines. So we also reciprocated some times ago with Arik Airline, and very soon Air Peace and United Nigerian Airlines are also going to.
I mean, let's get into specifics now. Briefly, what specific provisions does the agreement include to promote free competition or fair competition, and also market access between the United States and Nigeria?
Actually, like I said earlier, you can't compare both the Nigerian aviation industry with that of the United States. The United States aviation industry is more developed. That was why a lot of people felt we shouldn't have signed that agreement, that is a one-sided agreement, because the United States carrier are going to benefit more from the arrangement, from the agreement. But I said no. Yes, in as much as they are going to benefit from it in the initial stage, Nigerian airlines can also take advantage of that by operating into the United States. Like I told you, it's a win-win situation, but definitely one side is going to be a bigger beneficiary than the other, which is the United States. But by and large, if you look at it, if we have the capacity to operate to the United States, we should be able to do that. And for now, Airpeace is preparing to operate into the United States, same way United Nigeria is going to. So these are, symbiotic relationship between both countries. But I believe that the U.S. carriers have a better stronghold in Nigeria than Nigeria has in the United States, because currently no airlines fly from Nigeria flies to the United States. But I think we can begin to build capacity, we can begin to build structure to make sure that we tap into this good opportunity.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me on the news, Wole Shadare. Thank you once again.